Hey, Mike. On that first video, I wasn't actually asking what Surah 47 meant. It's pretty clear to me. It's instructions to kill people, or it's instructions on how to kill people in a war. So the meaning's pretty clear. My question there was, did it belong in a religious book? And you kind of answered that question, but it's not that I think you are the guy who has to answer all the questions in the Quran. I know some of them are difficult to answer. Personally, I don't think that an instruction to kill people, or instructions on how to kill people in a war, I don't think those need to be in a religious book, especially if it was a war that took place in the 7th century, and these are sitting there as current day instructions to modern Muslims. I do not believe that that has any place in any written work for any large group of people to be reading as instructions from God. I really think it's just a bit risky. Anyway, as sort of part of your explanation there, you you asked my indulgence to believe that Muhammad, that somehow, whatever your definition of divinity is, that somehow Muhammad's Quran was divinely inspired. And I'm sorry, but I can't really do that. I can't pretend to believe something I don't believe, and I can't take a position, an intellectual position, that starts with that as a premise. There's just no way. Now I do understand that what you're trying to do there is make some common ground for us to get along with Muslims on a day-to-day basis, if their religion didn't seem to be so opposed to people getting along with each other in the first place, then of course I would have no problem saying, well, that's your religion. This God named Allah said get along with people, and this God named Christ said get along with people, so we both agree that we should get along with people, so that's great. But unfortunately, yeah, we got one of those, but the other one isn't doing that. The people aren't doing that, and I have no choice but to say that that represents a religion. But I see the overall behavior of Muslims. I hear day to day. I see the news. I have no choice but to associate that with Muslims in one way or another. Maybe it's a minority that's being that way, but there they are, and I don't see the same thing on the Christian side. So I'm not feeling all that sort of let bygones be bygones with the question of Islam and 19 hijackers. I'm just not feeling it. Rather, what I think is the common ground that Islam and Christianity both have is that they are religions that contain a large amount of fantasy, and that the way out of the conflicts that we have is to set aside this idea that we have to be taking everything we know from these religions that were developed by some fairly primitive people quite a long time ago. So, if that's, I believe it's certainly true for Christianity, and even truer for Islam, which came out of not only a primitive environment, but a primitive and war-torn environment. It's interesting that when you view the Quran as divinely inspired, that suddenly Muhammad becomes innocent of starting a war because God was telling him to go and tell people that their religion was no good and had to be changed. Right? He's the guy who started it. If that was because God told him to do it, then of course he's off the hook, isn't he? So no, I'm sorry, but I just can't take that position. As much as I want Muslims to be our friends, the way I see the truthful and intellectually honest way I see for that to happen is for the religion of Islam to come under the kind of questioning that it should be coming under, in the same way that Christianity has been questioned, and things like the Spanish Inquisition just don't happen anymore because Christians themselves have evolved, and the Christian religion, thank God, has been flexible enough to allow that to happen. Is that the case for Islam? That's unfortunately the sticking point. Otherwise, this would all be a whole lot easier. I can tell that this is going to devolve, and I like talking to you, actually. I mean, it's very nice to have people address videos to me. As you can see, I'm not a popular video person. I don't have a lot of subscribers. I don't have people making video responses to me, so that's nice. Really appreciate it. But on the Islam thing, I'm I'm totally with you. I mean, I want you know, Christians and Muslims should be able to trust each other completely, and I, take me as the canary. I'm not getting the trust. I'm not feeling the trust. So, maybe some other subject. I don't know. What's your favorite food? What do you do? I I kind of do support work in a sort of computer area of a bank.